sleeping on us. Y'all been sleeping on me. It's time to wake the motherfucker up. You know how people say they really be in these streets? I really be out here.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I know you guys waited a long time for this content and it's been a mission. Weather has not been cooperating and we had to pick up some parts. So we finally have pretty much everything we need to finish this drift quad build. If not, get an idea for what we can do to modify the frame even more. Anyways, I'm not gonna keep rambling. We got some parts. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys some of the parts we got. We got a steering wheel, PVCs, we got extra wheels, wheel hubs, oil cooler, and yeah, I'm just gonna jump right in and show you guys some cinematic footage of what we got, and we're gonna dive right into it and get this quad finished. So figured I'd do a little nice cinematic opening of the Amazon steering wheel we got here. Post it up next to the booty of the Crown.
Butt! Wow, that's a pretty big butt.
It's a nice angle right here for those car enthusiasts that like bumper action.
He touched the butt.
Yeah, anyways, this video is sponsored by 99 Wraps. If you want to get your car wrapped or give your car a new look, make sure you guys hit up my boy 99 Wraps. Cody is the owner. I'll add his Instagram. And yeah, we got some hoodies for sale of the Toyota Crown. Yeah, and if just overall you're on a budget and you're not trying to break the bank and you want to have quality wrap, quality vinyl, quality install, no inconsistencies, hit up my boy Cody 99 Wraps.
He touched the butt.
Anyways, let's pull this sucker out. Uh-oh. This is a $20 steering wheel off Amazon. Oh, look at that. Ah, gold. Look at that. Gold wheel. Oh, look, comes with some wires for some horns. I'm sure we'll use that. So, yeah. RAS tip. I don't know. RAS TP. Steering wheel. Are they trying to spell race? Like racing? But RAS? I don't know. Anyways, matches the oil cooler. It's got that gold look. I was gonna get some gold hubs, but we came off of, found these on Marketplace. Got two of them, got the bearings. Gonna need some bolts for these to bolt up the wheels. Hopefully these fit the hubs that are on the quad right now. And yeah, I think this shit looks so cheap. I mean, it doesn't bend that easy, but this is so cheap. Do not put this on your car. Do not drive with this steering wheel on the damn street. I'm gonna tell you that right now. This is cheap. Go-kart, drift quad, it's still kind of sketchy. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Yeah, RAS TP, high quality racing parts. This is not, sorry guys, this is not high quality. You can't buy quality for cheap 90% of the time. 10% of the time you get lucky. Yeah, anyways, okay, so I think what we're gonna start off with is mounting the oil cooler. Get that all situated, make sure it's working, no leaks. Maybe move on to the steering wheel last. Put the steering wheel on. That's gonna be last because I do need to pick up some bolts, and I do need bolts for the hubs here. These are pretty nice hubs. They do have these on Amazon for 30 bucks. I'll leave a link in the description. And hopefully these fit the spindles that are on the cart right now. I did pick up those PVCs, and unfortunately those PVCs are way too small for the tires that are on there. and it's the tire is not sitting nicely inside the PVC. But I did pick up these two off Facebook Marketplace, really cheap, and it came with these hubs that I needed, so that was the main reason. Alright guys, I just put my brand new $10 grinder to the test, and we just grinded off some of the paint here. I had some of this metal scrap, and we're gonna mount up the oil cooler on this. Dang, please focus. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna weld this up, make sure it's leveled. I got my wife's leveler. This is not my leveler, it's my wife's. So yeah, anyways, we're gonna mount this up, make sure it's even, and then weld the oil cooler bracket that is removable to this pole. And then from there, we're gonna go ahead and do the plumbing for the oil cooler and move on to the next steps. So I did a quick little tack, and I forgot that this frame is from China. So of course nothing really lines up, so whatever, we're just gonna wing it. We're gonna do the best we can to make things kind of flow together. But yeah, now I'm gonna weld the other side. It's flat enough. Then I'll grind this side down, weld the plate for the oil cooler, and we'll move forward to plumbing. So now, hopefully I didn't put that bar too close. Oh, perfect. Got that grinded down. Yeah, I'm a fabricator now. There we go. So now I just need to do a nice steady line. Hopefully I have some welding skills. But yeah, that's how the oil cooler is gonna sit. This bar is actually missing a bolt, so once I push this in, it'll sit nice and flush and pretty much square, at least as close to square as possible. Again, Chinese frame, sorry guys, you kids need to learn how to measure a little bit better. Alright, so the oil cooler is on. Welds are alright, but it'll hold. Now, I'm just gonna run those lines real quick. Hopefully everything fits. I did not measure that, kind of eyeballed it, so we'll see what happens. Let's get to it. Alright, so for the oil cooler, gotta pull this guy off. Comes with this adapter plate, and pretty self-explanatory. It has all the gaskets and stuff like that. So we're gonna go ahead and pull that off, slap this on, and we should be pretty much done with the plumbing. It's gonna come up just like this, up the top, and straight down, obviously, to this piece. So cool. A little dirty. Just try to clean it up a little bit. Alright, so the oil cooler lines are ran. Everything's good. Hopefully it works, no leaks. Obviously we haven't fired it up yet, so we don't know if it leaks. I do need to take off the top, fill the oil cooler with oil. So once I fill the oil cooler with oil, tighten up these two top lines, and probably fire it up, see if it leaks. And then we'll move on to the steering wheel. We'll get the steering wheel situated and switch out the rear tires and maybe even these hubs for the front. So I'll just keep on chugging along, see how it goes. We still need to reinforce the frame. That's something I need to get done ASAP. So alright guys, ended up getting caught up in a few things and didn't film this part. But right after we got the oil cooler plumbed, we just removed the shocks, threw on the steering wheel. There was 4 existing drilled holes, so we just put 4 bolts through that for the steering wheel. And I'm debating if I'm gonna drill a hole in the steering wheel and clamp this nice. So I temporarily put zip ties for like a hand throttle, because I'm not sure if I'm going to do a foot throttle yet. As much as I want to, this thing is pretty small, so it's kind of uncomfortable. Even if I was to extend the foot pegs, do something with that. But right now we're in the mud and working on this thing, doing a couple other things. Tomorrow should be a whole lot nicer, but that's what I did for the day. It literally took me like an hour to do all this. So yeah, I don't know if I want it slammed. I do like the look of the shocks, the front shocks, so maybe I'll just put the shocks there, or adjust the tabs or something. Still don't know yet. Would be nice to have some type of suspension, but yeah. So aside from the shocks, I've seen this video and I was hoping I wouldn't run into this issue, but another guy that did a drift quad build, similar frame, he mentioned that the bushings were messed up, and I don't know if you could tell, but this one also has the same issue. All of the bushings on the control arms are pretty toast, and what he did, I think he had, I'd have to watch the video again, but I believe he welded, if not, did something with a bolt inside of there in replace of the bushing. Kind of sucks, but is what it is. This thing was $40, so I'm not too upset about that. Also, another thing I might do, similar to what he did, is he added a bar from the shock mount, the upper to the lower. He just added a bar in replace of the shocks for the front, so that's something I also might do, because yeah, if I have a friend that decides to be funny and runs into something, and they bend a control arm, that would kind of suck. So yeah, I think I might make it so that at least the front end is rebuildable if needed. So that's pretty much where I'm at with that. Again, I know there's a lot of work that needs to be done. We'll probably hit this tomorrow. Tomorrow the plan is to hopefully figure out something with the front suspension, change the front wheel hubs so that way I could get rid of the original wheels with the slicks on it. I have that other set, and probably do the throttle more legit. I'll probably take it around the block with the zip ties holding it in place. It's not like it's gonna get stuck or anything, but yeah, take it around the block with that. We also need to figure out a new gas tank, and that's pretty much it. That being said, I was working on putting these other wheels on, so that way we don't have to use the original ones with the slicks on it. If you guys seen my previous video, you know what I'm talking about. So, Amazon hubs, I just got this thing to work. I'm gonna go into detail here pretty soon on how you make this work, but these Amazon hubs, you do have to take the bearings out and use the original bearings that are on the existing hubs, because the bearings that the Amazon hubs come with are way too small. So, putting racing kart rims on your ATV in the front, pull out that cotter pin, loosen that bolt. So once this is out, all these pieces are very important. So set the nut aside and that washer. Should be able to pull this off if I could do it with one hand. So extremely important. Again, all this is going to be gone. This literally just slides off. These are your front drum brakes. We don't need these anymore, so that's gonna go. Very important piece right here is this collar right here. This you're gonna need, and we're gonna go ahead and punch out these bearings that are currently in here, because these are the proper size, and the ones that are currently in the Amazon hubs are way too small in diameter, but it does fit the circumference of the actual hub. So pop these out, pop the ones that are out in the original hubs. So right now I have the hubs bolted to the rim just because I have some space in there. I can literally just flip it, pop it out, flip it, and do it the other side, pop both of them out. Hammering them in, we're gonna take the hub off just because we can't hammer inside the rim with it on. Basically, just get a nice thick flathead, and you're going on the inside of the bearing. Gonna work both sides, kind of like in a triangle area. You don't want to just concentrate on one side, but literally that's it. Just popped out the original one, flip it over, do the same thing. Literally that easy. So now we got both bearings out of the original hubs. We're gonna unbolt the hub now, and we're gonna hammer in these bearings. Again, these bearings tighter, these ones looser. These are the original ones. So yeah, that's how we're doing this. So let's go ahead and pop this one out. We're gonna do the same thing. This one's a little tricky because it has something inside. It has a spacer inside of there. Very important spacer, you're gonna need that. This one's a little bit tighter. Starting to come out. This rim you're gonna want to prop up because it's a little less space. And just like that. Very important spacer. We're gonna have to cut this later on. And these are the bearings we need. We need to pop out the other one. So again, we can flip that over. So, just finished hammering out both bearings on there. Again, important piece, important piece, important piece. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and unbolt this hub from the tire so that way we can go ahead and hammer those in. We can hammer in the shallow side with it like this, but as far as the side that is a lot deeper, we can't fit the hammer in there and we don't wanna jack up the rim. Got our wider bearing. I'm gonna wipe it off because it's a little dirty. Another thing to note, when you're hammering these in and out, you want to use something flat and you want to try to hit it on both sides. When you're hammering it out with the flat head, make sure you don't put the flat head in the plastic. You want to have it either in the center or on the outside if possible. You can damage the bearings, so as long as you kind of just take your time and work it on both sides, you won't really damage it. But it is possible you could damage these. So, just in a circular motion. And you just keep on working it until it's flush. Once it's flush, you're done. Alright, so I hammered it in. I did nick that a little bit, as you see, but that's alright. It's the inside. So we're going to go ahead and remove the hub now and put the bearing in on the other side. Alright, hub is removed. It's kind of hard to tell. You can tell. Damn, it's dirty. We're going to wipe this down. Alright, so for those that you wanted to see, that's the part number. Again, these are the bearings that we're using with the Amazon hubs. Alright, so we just went ahead and hammered it in. It is flush, both sides. Again, so now we're ready to put the hub back on, and I'll show you what to do with the spacer because you're going to need it. Alright, so I'm sure you can get this stuff at Ace Hardware if you do lose this stuff or if you end up messing this up when you cut it. But basically, this is way too long if you slide it onto this spindle. And if you don't have this, the wheel's going to rub on the spindle as well on the rim. So you need to make a space. You got to use the spacer. Basically cutting this spacer in half, and then once the spacer is in half, this will go on the end. So I'll go ahead and show you guys that. And yeah, so basically I just eyeballed this and I got lucky and it worked. I don't know what the exact measurement on this is, but I kind of eyeballed it. You can do so too. Basically, I'm cutting this flush against my pressure pliers with an angle grinder, and then I'm going to use this longer side for the inner part on the spindle. So yeah, so I just cut it in half, as you guys can see. Should come off here, it's barely hanging on. So yeah, just cut that off. I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's flat, which it looks pretty flat, except for like a little piece of metal on it.
Motion detected in the front yard.
Yeah, we're gonna use that longer side. Just be careful because it's hot, so put that on there. I didn't give it time to cool down, so might have to grind that down a little bit. Once your spacer's on, go ahead and slide your wheel on. So here's when that collar comes in handy for the inner side, the one that I had you pull out to begin with, the smaller one that was already cut. Well, factory, I guess. That literally slides over and it makes contact with the bearing. So, and it holds on to the actual spindle. I don't know if you can see in there, but it's literally holding on to the fatter side of the spindle. So once that's on, now you can put your washer in your nut. Got our washer, and there's our nut. Very important, make sure you guys got decent cotter pins. If they're worn out, replace them. You can also get these at AutoZone or Ace Hardware. But the cotter pins help prevent the nut from backing out. This does spin. If you don't put the cotter pin, it will back out and you'll lose a tire. All right, we are done. We have front wheels, they spin nice. All right, now that the wheels are on and I have the wheels that I want, now I can figure out what height I want the front end to sit at. I also do want to see if I can get some washers and put them in between here, just to fix the spacing issue that I'm having. That, or even try to find some rubber grommets that will work perfectly for this. We got to do some research on that because we need to get rid of this slop. Another thing to consider is how high you actually want it to sit. That is completely up to you. If you want it slammed to the ground, you can have it slammed to the ground. But for me, I'm going for about 1.5 inches of clearance on the lowest part of the frame, which would be right underneath the engine. That's kind of what I'm trying to go for, which is basically the control arms, pretty close to level. So as far as scrap metal, we're gonna go ahead and figure out this suspension situation, and I think this will be a great candidate for that.
Juice,